Get your coffee.
Get your coffee, get your
It's your
tea.
drinky time.
See my teacup, Scott? Can you see what it says?
A little shadow
Okay, it
vacation.
says the good witch is on vacation.
Oh,
It's one of my fall
like it.
teacups.
The right wing has no answer. Of course they don't. Jim Jordan shut down.
Oh yeah, and that was what I really liked is when she mentioned that he'd have to pay $2.49 for that book because he's not a lawyer. I saw one woman lawyer on MSNBC saying, "I wish she hadn't fallen into some of those less than legal remarks or something." And I thought, hell no, that's people that don't do lawyering. They're gonna love it.
Yeah, I heard that commentary too. I'm like, eh. I mean, if you just, it's like she's throwing in the human side, a little bit of frustration, but legal.
But also, it emphasizes that thing people don't understand. He's not a lawyer. He's in a position in Congress where you're running the Judiciary Committee. By its definition, dealing with justice, you would think. I mean, he has a law degree. He didn't have the smarts to pass the bar exam. You could go all the way through medical school if you can't pass their tests of competence. Do you want them operating on you? No. You know?
Oh my God, crazy. Marjorie thinks Michelle Obama's running instead of Biden.
Yes.
She must have some QAnon person just dream up stuff so she can just say it on her podcast.
No, she's just crazy. I mean, she doesn't need anybody else to be crazy for her. She's taken it on as an independent project.
Oh my God, she needs to go too.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Jack. Where are you? We need to eliminate these
Hello,
sedition.
Angela. Hello, Gigi. I was talking to them yesterday.
Oh, you had your
I had my class.
class going on. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Your gardening class.
Well, the gardening class ended up being the girls sitting around drinking tea and talking. So
nothing. Nothing.
we read the next week, and everybody got that it's going to be a lovely week for each of us, and so we decided we'd quit while we were ahead.
Beautiful.
And we talked about the change of seasons. It's warmer than usual in Finland, but not as bad as it was. And Cold Toe says the trees are changing in Alaska. And Gigi's sitting in a hot spell in New York in an old apartment with no air conditioning.
Oh,
Yeah,
ew.
that's why we all love that Gigi shows up for us. Because if I were her, I'd find a block of ice and sit on it. But
Oh, okay. The disinformation out there thinks Michelle Obama is going to run or take Kamala's place. Oh, whatever they're going to put out there. It's crazy time. Morning, Debbie. Liz.
Tarot asked backwards, "Hello." He said hello to me.
Gosh. Yeah, I've seen pictures here and there. I don't know where everywhere, but yeah.
It's all over Europe. It's really, really heavy.
I can't remember which places, but I've seen the crazy deep flooding.
Well, and then there's the earthquake in Morocco.
Oh yeah, that's rough. There was what 10,000 plus people passed because of it.
1,300 was the original count. That was like within hours of, so it's probably gotten to that. They're all mud brick buildings in Marrakesh, and they just collapsed. And I think it was at night, so everybody was at home.
Yeah, you're correct, Debbie. The Obamas are done, Michelle. As far as
she didn't want him to be president. I mean, she wanted him to be president once he did it, but
and Hillary, Hillary's done. They're just advisors now. So yeah, they're talking about which
Hurricane Lee.
Lee. Yes, Lee might be coming up the coast. They say.
Yeah, I heard it was more. They were more thinking the folks that got really smashed last year in Canada need to be careful because of how it's looking. This is a time of year. But y'all must think I do nothing but talk on the phone. But I was talking to a reader who's up in Nova Scotia, and she said that they have great white sharks in the waters off their coast, and they've never had that before. The water's so warm they've come up that far north.
Oh, let's see. Where is Lee gonna hit? To me, it feels like it's gonna start whipping around New York and then go up.
You know what? You know what I heard screamed in my head? Bangor, Maine. So
Yeah, the East Coast
mhm,
starting to hit around New York, above DC. It feels like,
mhm.
and then it's gonna just. It doesn't feel like a hurricane, but it's windy,
Yeah.
rain, flooding, and it's just gonna kind of like whip all around the coast. It feels like
I
all the way.
don't know that it's going to cross onto the land. That's where they get the real, if you can get the side showers and all of the little
Yeah.
tornadoettes that come off of it. But says the woman who lives in the middle of Texas. And if we get a hurricane here, kids, y'all can run for the hills because it's going to be everywhere. Can it go to Georgia and get rid of Lindsey Graham?
Jeff thinks it feels like it's coming there. Morning, Linda. Oops. Okay.
And now
Miss
that y'all,
Lindsay.
mm-hmm. Okay, I can lay cards on that.
South Coast and Maine. I don't know. It doesn't feel like disaster to me, but definite flooding.
Yeah.
And wind. Okay. My initial reaction to these people that were not indicted was that they're on the witness list. Like they cut deals to be witnesses. Lindsey.
It's an interesting cutout that they did. All of the senators and congressmen. It's like if they got Peter Navarro for January 8th for not showing up to the Congress,
yeah.
Why isn't someone tracking down Jim Jordan's butt? He didn't show up in his thing. I think they were even issued the same day. So
yeah, sad times. So yeah, what was it? Lynn Wood was like 20-0 indict, and he wasn't. Those type of people, right?
mm-hmm.
But then
Yeah.
then you remember he resigned from the bar then?
Oh yeah.
This all felt like he was getting ahead of something. And I think they're cooperating.
You mean for the first time in his life?
Instead of
being
you're not gonna get your deal until you fully cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you purge yourself or don't come and testify, then you get
mm-hmm.
the indictment. So it's like it's pending on what you do. So I believe they're on the witness list.
Yeah. I did a 5 card on does Lindsey Graham really believe he's no longer in trouble in Georgia? And it says, yes, absolutely, he does. Remember, the question is, does he believe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And this is a reason because he doesn't want to go to jail. That's the middle card. But the basis of it was coming out of government, he struck a deal. And then the next 2 cards are really intriguing. When I get the high priestess like this, it means things are happening we can't see that Lindsay doesn't know is going on. So she's out there playing. And there's the Knight of Cups. And one of the readings of the Knight of Cups is, yeah, he can be a romantic interest and all that stuff. The other thing is he can be a liar with all of his pleasantry things stuffed in that cup and be not telling you the truth. So if you're looking at from Lindsey's point of view, absolutely, he thinks he's kind of away free, and it's because he just didn't want to go to jail. What'd you get?
That's what I got in the end. The 8 of Swords is my prison card.
Yeah, that's my prison card too. Well,
this is my flipping card.
The
sun and everything comes out, whatever, but going to jail, 8 of Swords, but there's danger ahead, so he had to make a choice. He had to make a deal. I did have my possible indictment cards or making a deal. I have anxiety along with the 5 of Wands, which is there's conflict there, a struggle. So he had to make a deal. Here's documentation. But yeah, in the past, I get one public service and a courageous leader.
I'm going to ask.
It just shows that he thought he had rights to do this, but the law says different. That's just the past. He thought he had the King of Wands to public service, and I had this right, but no, you don't. You don't, Lindsey. Yeah, that just shows if he doesn't do his deal, he will see prison.
Oh, I asked if Lindsey's going to pay for it politically when the truth comes out, because the truth, and he won't be in government anymore. He won't be attached to the big machine. It's going to leave him to living life's other excesses. That's my OCD card. He's going to be imbalanced, temperance card upside down. And in the future, he's going to be little page cups, not the Knight of Cups, not the big liar and stuff. And he's going to have to go make other choices. So I think he's going to pay for it with his career, such as it is.
Well, when he has to show up as one of the 150 witnesses in Trump's trial, and has to tell the truth to avoid prison. Awkward. I don't think that's ever we looked at. You want to look at the people that, we got the 19 right now.
Right.
Are they some that are not going to go to trial and make a deal?
Oh, you want to find a number that's going to pull? Or
just get a sense of, because there was like 8 fake electors cut a deal so they wouldn't get indicted, and that kind of thing. But now we have them indicted, just instead of skipping the trial and trying to save themselves from all the legal hassles and whatnot. Oh yeah, Cass Peters had a interesting. She had him.
He also told her something he didn't realize he told her. Did you see that thing about it led her to believe that there was something hidden and she's still looking for it to get Trump? And she thinks it's like a little thing that she can grab with her hand, and it ends up, it's a 30-foot tall pole buried in the ground.
He's stuck. Yep.
Okay, we're going to see how many of the indicted are going to make themselves unindicted, try to get out.
Okay. Because they're talking hundreds of thousands of legal expenses, if not more.
Oh, I got 6 absolutely are going to flip. I got 2 6s in this reading, and they're interesting cards. One is the 6 of coins. They don't want to share. They don't want to pay. And the other 6 is fleeing and going to calmer waters. Those are the numbers I got. The rest of the cards were court cards. And it's, Fawny Willis, they don't like her, but they're going to work with her.
They were indicted. Of course they don't like her.
You never know. They might have a revelation, Think of all the jailhouse conversions that have happened in the past,
Oh. lot of female talking. A number. I really don't have any numbers. I got male and female cards coming out, but I got.
Well, I got the
It
one
feels
card
like
I
the
had.
public. I had the whistleblower,
Mm-hmm.
the Page of Wands, people in public service, and conflicts there. So there's some fives coming out here, fives and fours. But who?
How many fake electors are in that batch?
Four, I think.
And then there's the two people that went after the election workers. There are two of them.
Oh yeah, a woman and
The guy.
the two black people there.
Yeah. Do you know that black guy? Fonnie Willis realized he had some problems about maybe bailing himself out. So she approached him on a phone call and said, "We can help you with the bail and arrange it." And then when he didn't do that, so he ended up sitting in jail. He said, "This is how they treat us. This is how they, I'm the one black that didn't get help, blah, blah, blah." She just released the tape of her telling him, "You don't have to do this." How stupid these people are.
Yeah. The weird thing is there are people changing it into a different path because of money.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing is I had people not knowing that the special counsel is coming after them too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have October.
Yeah.
October, special counsel bringing in some kind of celebration, some kind of abundance here in October. So yeah, I'm not sensing a number. It feels like it could be more the people that were in public service working at deal
Mm-hmm.
instead of going through, a trial. It feels like the lawyers are stubborn, like Chesbro, Powell, Jen Ellis, all those lawyers, and Rudy. They feel stubborn. They're going to go to court. But it feels like the others that were in public service, I got my public service card flipping, conflicts. Those, so like the other fake electors might bow out because they can't afford it or something like that, working deals. And then I have Queen of Wands, Queen of Coins, and Page of Coins. It feels like lack of money, working creative deals. It could be a Fannie Willis or one of the team, the Queen of Wands, and then a new path here because of money with the Page.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so far as a number, I'm not saying it, but it feels like the ones that were in public service, but it feels like the lawyers are going to continue and fight it. The ones, what do you call it? The ones with more recognition that can bilf people. And
well, the thing is, if they go in and they do what they would need to do if they're lawyers and confess it, they're not lawyers anymore. And so they've lost their profession and everything else. So, they could take their chance with the jury when they're just saying, "I was just doing my job." I would have thought the fact that now 3 grand juries have looked at that in Georgia would dissuade them from the idea that the common folk are going to think they were just doing their job. But
oh, I know, right? Especially when she did it with a special grand jury and had all the evidence, and that's different people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the regular seeing the evidence and indicted. So yeah, I think, and that's why it took so long too. Also, because she was working those deals with those other electors that are not indicted.
Yes.
It takes a lot of time, to back and forth communicating. What are we gonna do from you? Morning, Crown Zones. Okay. Oh, we may have looked at that, but I can't remember who did what night. But I think we may have.
We didn't look at it last week, but
Okay, because I think there's a speculation about it's illegal to take the Fulton County's picture of 45 and then make merch off of it.
mhm. Okay. Let's see. Will Fulton County try to recoup money made off the merch? Be good because then they can pay for all the security they've had to put up because of the church.
Oh, sorry, Celtics here. It says the stream is breaking up.
Yeah, Celtic Sears on the East Coast. You'd be watching it. They're going to get some of it, not all of it. When I get the Sun, that's a yes. Something's going to be worked out to get money from him. Trump is not going to be happy about this. But I got a 3-3 on my yes, no. It was a balance, but the one in the middle is the Sun, and that's yes to me. So yes, they'll get it. They won't get all of it. Trump's bitched because he has to let control of that money that he thought he earned it with that scroll. And they're going to fight it to a point, but it's not worth the trouble to get every dime out of him. If he hasn't already transferred it to a Russian bank account where it's being devalued as it sits there.
Yeah, I got the Sun too. Some kind of hope. Then I got my evaluate card, which is like, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Fighting the courts, and then Page of Coins, some, and a victory.
They're going to get some of it. They're not going to get all of it. But.
Yeah, very similar to yours. My 6 8 of Wands, Page of Coins. But I also have this, which means, is it all worth it to fight, and spend all this money? So, I mean, like, stuff like that should have been organized at the beginning. Show them the rules. So they can't do all this crap. Once it's out there, it's out there. And then we know how legal fights go.
We know how the internet goes. You can't.
Right. And what is it? Shay Moss and her mom may never get any money out of Rudy because he's broke. Unless I can settle and take his townhouse before. Oh, good Lord. Flynn drove a storm yesterday. Debbie said there was scary storms in Jersey yesterday. Ugh. Stay safe. Okay. We start that quick. This is covered. Okay. Yeah, we'll check that. I'm pretty sure. Special counsel sharing and talking. Like those people saying he didn't indict. I sent Jack Smith will.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they work a deal. These people are not going away. Oh, there's been a lot of talk about Mr. Flynn.
I think they should pull him back into the military, court-martial him, and take away his pension.
And then throw away the key. Yeah, it is sad, whatever his pension is, $100,000 or whatever. To be getting that.
Yeah, this is going to get him. He's going to fall out of the place of power. And it's because of choices he made and people he got together with. And he chose to be their little spokesman and go out and say what he was going to say. And this shows he he thinks he's the King of Cups, but he's not. And they're working on getting him. And I'm not so sure it's not the military that's going to come and get him.
I'm getting, I think special counsel has an indictment ready for him. They're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a sealed or one on him already. They're waiting.
He's got another jury going.
Yeah,
January 6th right
they're
now.
looking, because I have here King of Swords keeps coming up for the special counsel, and then on my 3-4 coins, it's always like my indictment or sealed or whatever coming out, and then I have the 6 of Swords, which means timing is not right yet, kind of thing, you know. So there's sealed indictment, Jack Smith, timing not right with the 6 of Swords. Then they're still seeking some cooperation, and Hermit card is kind of a waiting, thinking about how we need to move on this, but there's some burdens going on with some whistleblower or trying to get some cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hermit's like seeking introspection and a pause.
Right.
And then it has to do something with the connections with 45 that he may have done in August, I'm hearing. But yeah, they want to sure up something, and then they're going to move hard with the Knight of Wands.
Okay.
But I had that endure. It says August, but it may have been last August, but there's some coordination with 45 that he did that they're trying to secure up some kind of witness. But yeah, he's going down soon. His fall is inevitable. And all right, Christine. Sometimes you gotta let these fools run free so you can gain more information on them to secure up that conviction. Jack has another grand jury. Yes, he does. And then the way that the media made it sound, it might be the same one. Same people.
No, it's a different topic, and that they were arguing about what the topic was. And one of the favorite was that they're going after the corruption of these people. Knew it was not, that there was no big lie. They knew what they were saying was untrue. They were soliciting funds via the internet, and that they want to clamp that down. That's fraud, and get all that money back. And that means a whole bunch of lawyers would have to give the money back, and I just don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see that money going back. But the bankroll can be frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And that would shut down 45's business.
Mm-hmm.
As far as lawyers. Does anyone have access to money? Because we all know his Trump org broke.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to know more about that in October, too.
And not very long. And there was a question on that. Where was that? Yeah. Steve was wondering. October 3rd.
Okay.
The energy of the Trump org trial by Chris James. Kind of wondering if it's going to start on time. Or
it's on. It's been on for too long. They can't. They had a chance to file. They tried to file and move court dates and all that stuff, and the court just said no.
Right.
We're here. It's today.
I guess I just want to make sure I'm not focusing on something else.
No, I think this is the October 3rd, I think, is Alvin Bragg or Tish James. I will find out.
Yeah, this is New York AG's civil trial.
Okay.
She wants 250 million and shut down the org in New York for 5 years.
Good.
So yeah.
Where will Don Jr. ever get his stash from after that?
Oh, Miami's got plenty.
Yeah, but you have to have money to pay for it. And the people you're getting it from, you don't want to not pay. They don't smile at you doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't care who your daddy is, you know.
Angela, Flynn gets 10,000 a month, pretty much, probably.
Mm-hmm.
A general and for that many years serving.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have done 20 years, I'd be getting 55,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If I did my 20 years, and then I would have been out, gosh, 2008. That would have been.
And we wouldn't get to see you in your charming den reading cards.
Probably not. I would have had a whole different life path. But so yeah, in 2008, if I did, depending on my rank, if I made it all the way up to chief master sergeant, yeah, I'd probably be getting 80 grand a month. So him as a general, yeah, I believe he'd be getting over 10 grand a month. Whatever 120 grand is a year, plus free health. Okay, the energy.
Oh, they're saying that on the news today that Trump's fraud trial could take 3 months.
In October?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Wouldn't think it would.
They've scheduled the docket for 3 months.
Okay. The energy of this trial. Yeah. I got the patience card of the Knight of Coins, so it could be a lot of information to bring in there.
Oh, Jesus. These are the best cards I've ever gotten for Trump. They're all saying that this trial is going to bury him. I mean, but they're good cards saying that.
Weird. I don't. She's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the success and finances are gonna bury the Trump org.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my 10 of coins next to the 5 of wands, and then the 8 of swords being completely restricted. And so there's going to be tons of restrictions on the Trump org, and the money is going to be absent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't have good cards along with the 10, which is usually good. This buries it, being the money is restricted and conflicts and problems with the 5 of wands. So Tish is leading it, but I'm getting the King of Swords coming in again.
I got the King of Cups. That may be one of her prosecutors.
Could be. But why is the law coming in? So I got the Knight of Swords along with the Knight of Coins and the King of Swords.
Are you reading the Knight of Swords as law?
Yes.
Because I read him as moving on. Someone has to change residence or move from a place.
Well, when it all depends
what's around it.
Which deck I'm using.
Okay.
So I'm using my deck again. Okay. And, you know, when I put the symbols on and everything, this is what it's representing. You know, so here you got the Men in Black or the law agencies and CIA, whatever. Could be ETs. But this gets the feeling of something beyond this trial is going to happen to 45 dealing with special counsel in October. there may be some restrictions with 45 or some kind of law action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some kind of Night of Coins can be some documentation too, because it's physical.
Yeah.
You know, but there's something else going on in October with Jack Smith. I mean, this is just the way it's laying out, and it's what I'm sensing. And then in the end, greater things happen. It's going to be a temperance type of trial. It's going to take time, but all the energy is against him.
Yep.
All the energy is against him.
Yeah. He's the hanged man, and he just has to watch it. He can't do anything about it. He's got this guy on top of him, the King of Cups, but at the base was, everybody realizes what he did was wrong. It was based on nothing. And her card going into this case is the Ace of Cups, which is she's got everybody's hearts along with her. Then the near future, I've got, man, is Trump going to freak during this trial? He does not like it at all. But this is the people out in the streets. They're having a party. and then there's three cards. This is a trial. It achieves its goals. It goes after the money, and it gets the whole family. It gets the boys and everybody. It gets everybody that's involved with it. But the out card's the real kicker. They're thrown out of their comfortable place they've been living in. So it's, man, he's gonna hate this trial worse than anything, because he's gonna see his other money slipping away.
And it's civil. He doesn't even have to be there.
No.
Thanks, David.
That's okay. He's got other courts that he has to be in.
I don't think.
No.
New York AG doesn't do searches. That would come from the FBI, Manhattan DA or special counsel.
Mm-hmm. That's a criminal kind of behavior that you have to do that. Thank you for generously contributing to us, David. But, Christmas is coming. Scott and I have families that need gifts.
But yeah, there's I believe it wasn't really reported, but it feels like they were searched in some way or another, whether it was his lawyers or Secret Service or something. But yeah, I believe that Bedminster and Trump Tower was searched for more documents. Not as heavily, because
they didn't dig up her grave, did they?
No, not that we know of. But there wasn't a search warrant needed. That's why we didn't hear about it.
Oh, okay.
There was brief talk about it, but not much. And I think we read on it a while ago, months ago. Okay. Recoup. Okay.
I'm going to tell you from a legal perspective, I don't think there is.
Is there any info? Yeah, I just seen it. Looked interesting. I didn't read it. Is there any info that Fani Willis has uncovered in her investigation that she's sharing?
I'll tell you, the only information I've heard is their scheduling people got together so that they didn't all schedule trials on the same days. But otherwise, they're being very careful about each running their own independent research. I don't think they are. I think it's too risky.
Sharing info. What I'm getting from this is that their investigations are separate, so they don't share in that aspect.
Yeah.
And I believe you're correct with timing, but I am seeing and sensing some kind of communication, but it's not in depth of who, what, where, and why, but a coordination of kind of like who's testifying.
I think it's procedural.
Who, right, like who's gonna agree to testify. So like the unindicted co-conspirators, I feel like that kind of information is shared. Why? That kind of coordination. But as far as ongoing or secret stuff like this, no, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I see communication, but it's at a limited point. It's more about a people coordination of who's testifying, who's flipping. It's like, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. I got them later. That kind of feeling.
Right.
Sure, if a federal crime has been committed, yeah, that's reported to the FBI, and they've opened an investigation. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a spy. There was I can't remember who wrote it. Maybe it was Politico, but it was brought up again and kind of been out of the network. But Flynn was already talking about nuclear technology secured for Saudi Arabia after 45 was president.
He was on the phone during the inauguration,
Yes.
talking to them. You can see him behind Trump on his cell phone, starting just as soon as he put his hand on the Bible, starting to swing that deal.
They already had that deal, the UAE and the Middle East, about nuclear technology through him back then. And then we have Kushner's $2 billion after the fact, and Live Golf and all this. Like, we know they gave that nuclear technology to them, and favorable arms deals. What the heck they do? They signed a $380 billion arms deal over 10 years or something with the Middle East. How much that money slipped back to the 45 and his cronies, right? Instead of paying our government. It's all.
Yes.
Corrupt.
It's giving me a headache, Scott. Can you take that man's name off the screen?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, this is a good one.
Carol was interested. Okay, I'm going to change decks. Get my Farmer's Tarot rest. Okay. Colorado and Arizona amendment cases. Oh, Arizona. I didn't hear that.
Arizona's doing it too. The way they're doing it in Colorado is individuals in the state of Colorado are suing the Secretary of State to not put his name on it based on the 14th Amendment. Therefore, she's following, she has to review it and have a whole argument ready to go. I don't know how they're doing it in Arizona, but that's the reason that the first guy who filed on this in Florida, his case was dismissed because he is not the person who makes that decision. The Secretary of State does. Even in Texas, which is wacky, our Secretary of State would make a decision for a ballot-wide placement of a candidate. So
yeah, so that makes sense because they decide who's on the ballot and the elections and results, certifying, all that makes sense. That's why I guess that makes sense why the Florida one was denied, because he was bringing it himself.
He was a private individual.
He wasn't bringing it to the Secretary of State. Makes sense. And if I had the money, I would. If I had millions, I'd find some lawyer and file in Wisconsin too.
Well, I got a yes to this question.
Okay.
Others will follow. I see. This is my
14.
steampunk deck. That's the Two of Wands. They're looking out. There are a bunch of them that are looking at it, and this is the Seven of Cups. It's reversed, so it means the delusion and illusion that this can't be done is being rapidly stripped away. One of the other states that's going to come in has a male figure who's running it, and they're really all going to kind of get together with a certain way that it happens so that each state doesn't have a different methodology. So the Supreme Court doesn't have to rule a bunch of times. And it's just going to lead to a lot more legal entanglements and fighting. But that's Five of Swords. But it is yes, 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 yes. The only thing that's a negative in it isn't really a negative. It's that people are letting go of the illusions and delusions. This can't be done.
Yeah, I heard, the Colorado Secretary of State was on MSNBC a few times and speaking about her things, and good, because she believes he's a threat to democracy and everything, which is right on target. So yeah, I believe and she's correct, and I think others like the Michigan Secretary of State was on also. And this is what, with the Moon, Knight of Swords, and Ace of Wands here starting out, that means they are coordinating behind the scenes. They're just not letting.
Oh yeah, they have organizations that are the attorney generals of all the states. They have a group that they meet through.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, they're coordinating. Some states don't want to come out and say, yes, we're joining and talking. So there's some secrets there with the Moon. Then I have the Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. Gathering evidence with the Seven of Pentacles. Page is starting it out, but the Eight of Swords would mean some restrictions coming. Frustrations, possibly. I'm sensing some attorney generals aren't gonna be included.
I don't bet you the one from Texas isn't. Of course, we're busy down here impeaching other state officials. So
yeah, that's the problem. I think that's the problem behind the scenes they're talking about, is that Eight of Swords. Because Republican Secretary of States aren't going to join.
Okay, but which states? So Texas doesn't join, and he ends up in the ballot in Texas, but he's not in Colorado. He's not in Michigan. He may not be in Florida, depending if they can figure a way around DeSantis down there. The California will join. New York State will join. So all you got
Michigan's in the mix.
Michigan, right?
Nevada's probably in the mix. Arizona,
he'd be low enough electoral votes there, if you believe he could even win any of those states. And I don't care what polling companies they use or how they do it. In my heart, I can't believe more than 30% of Americans are still on that delusional wagon. And look in Iowa, where they're flipping the bird at them at football games and stuff.
Yeah, I truly believe there's only 30% to America that would vote for him. There aren't that many people that are that silly
but
to vote for a convict.
Yeah, but you got to realize, if the 14th Amendment goes forward, if it goes forward as it's written and how they're reading it, just think of the 30-some people that you and I have seen in our cards that are in Congress and the Senate. They can't run again either. And I think it says serve, so that could be the end of them even being there. Marjorie can take her 3 toes back to Georgia.
In the end, I have, it's going to be an arduous process.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't like it's going to be bang, bang. It's a lot of litigation, a lot of frustrations by lawyers and getting, everything's set up, appeals and this federal judge, and probably go to the state Supreme Courts and then on to, it just feels like a long process.
They've supposedly, the Supreme Court's already reviewed if it hits them in this year's bench.
But I mean, in the process, though, in the end, it's a 10 of cups.
Yeah, no, we win.
So it's a winner. It's just a long, arduous process. It sucks the way it should be this way. But we have all that evidence. We've seen what he did. For 3 hours, he did nothing while people were passing and getting beat up. The J6 committee, what he said. Proud Boys, stand back. Stand by.
Well, they're standing by for 22 years in the federal prison.
Isn't that crazy? They were offered deals for half that, and they said, nope, we're not cooperating. Okay, you could have 20 years. Sounds good. Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, it's in a sense, this needs to be settled anyway. For future use, just whatever. So go through the process. It's a good thing to do it. It's just sad there's no Republicans that don't give a hoot.
Thank you, Deanne, DFL. She gave us a super sticker. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I started a couple of your questions, so we'll get there. But yeah, God, don't you wish, I mean, there's a lot of politics and bureaucracy involved, but
I should not question Glenn Kirchner, but I actually pulled it up and looked at it, and you don't have to be convicted. You just have to have a certain amount of proof that you were there, and indicted would be enough. Because the ones they walked out after the Civil War, that's all they had on them. They had like their army records that they were in the Confederate Army. That was enough to get them thrown out. It was written open-ended that way precisely for that reason, so everything didn't have to go to trial. Now, in the case of Trump and keeping him off, the argument really is that he's not in a federal position. But if you are in an elected position, that they can say bye-bye to you right then.
Correct. So. What I was getting at first was that he's aggressive in all his talks and what he says. He would be a lot more aggressive of a prosecutor if he was AG or special counsel or whatever. Right. But there's one thing to talk about it and what he believes, but when you're actually there, if you were, there's a lot of loopholes and bureaucracy, and
I really didn't know.
Other people to deal with, you know what I mean? Because then we'd have a whole team to deal with. You can't rule with an iron fist. I mean, he talks a good game, and I like him. But yeah, as the rule states, you don't need to be convicted.
But I think he's saying if he was convicted, there'd be like nobody could say we just wrote him off the ballot for no reason.
Oh, J6 committee did a huge filing, and it's all in print and what they recommended. It's right there, right?
That's what they used in Colorado to frame their suit to go to their secretary of the state. They used part of that.
Yeah, if you read the 14th Amendment, it doesn't say you have to be convicted. You engage in insurrection. You engage in insurrection. Case closed. How about the Congress people? Same for them too.
Yep.
It was beyond pale that Marjorie Taylor Greene escaped that last year. Brad Raffensperger, he let it pass, and the judge, like, nah. Anybody who watched it could tell she was lying the whole time. She should have been kicked off the ballot. But no, Republican weakness, conservative judges. Josh Hawley, yes, they all should be. But in a sense, it's right. It needs to go to Supreme Court. and have judges decide how the 14th Amendment is evaluated today.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's just scrapped, right? Okay. Look back. Okay, we did that. We did that. I got unstar. Liz is wondering about Jimmy Jordan.
Okay, let's see if they're ever going to go after him, like within the next 6 months, because there's going to be so much coming out in the next 6 months if they don't move then. When?
I mean, our favorite investigator, Denver Riggleman, stated in his research,
Mm-hmm.
he's on the committee, that there is a ton of communications with Jim Jordan on J6
Mm-hmm.
in coordination. There's a reason he didn't want to comply.
Oh yeah, they're coming to get him. Got the Ace of Pentacles and Balance and Temperance. They're doing it because people are saying, why isn't this happening? I don't think he's going to get thrown into jail. What they're going to do is they're just throw him out of office. He's going to be, this is a yes, he's going to be thrown out of office, 10 of Pentacles. And those who did this are going to be victorious. So yeah, Jimmy Boy is going to be one of the ones they're going to go get.
You know what they could be waiting for? Because I seen that wasn't settled yet with Scott Perry's phone. They seized it, but they won't be able to get at all the information.
Mm-hmm.
It's still ongoing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff we thought is maybe done because we heard about it months ago. This is one reason why I could never have been a lawyer, because I'd be jumping on people's heads. But why the hell isn't it done?
And that was surprising too, that even when they seized Rudy's, all his 18 phones and laptops and iPads, it took forever to get into his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what was actual litigated and confidential to the president and all that stuff. It takes forever. Oh, George is going away. We'll know by the end of the October.
Oh, Santos? Yeah.
Santos. Yeah, he's cutting a deal. His buddy that got indicted for stealing the money, he's flipping. Yeah. End of the month, end of October, we will know.
And his communication director resigned a couple months ago. She's already trying to worm a seat on the talk seats on MSNBC. It cannot be good for George.
George is going away. All right, Jim. Jim's got new beginnings, and he's got heavy burdens upon him.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a tower coming in with a 3 of Swords. His seats are gonna be ending. So they got a 7 of Swords and his Magician working for Russia.
Mm-hmm.
With the Empress coming here. So it's like all his lies and his seats in magic time, trying to manifest something out of nothing, is going to be coming into the end here. King of Cups next to the 3 of Swords. That feels like his throne. His throne is thrown into jealousy and frustration. So yeah, Tower, and then him going away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Jim's in big trouble soon. Prison?
I don't think he's going to jail, though. I think they may find him. Not on the subpoena thing.
So the 5 of Wands with the Tower coming in here, and then 6 of Swords.
Going to another place.
Going to another place. But I do have, there's a possibility of jail. It may be thrown at him. Doesn't mean he gets locked up, but in the end, I do have an 8 of Swords. It can be jail, or it can be, but it's next to the 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and 7 of Pentacles. So there could be some cooperation there. 3 of Cups is a celebration. 3 of Wands is seeking assistance, looking outward at your life. But this will loom over him. But 7 of Pentacles can be sharing information and helping out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we got 3-3 with celebrations. So it's there. The energy's there that he could see some prison time. It depends on his cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
But he is going down with a tower.
If he goes to prison, he won't have to roll his sleeves up.
There you go. It's a win-win.
I mean,
You know, in a just world for a Wheel of Fortune or karma balance,
mm-hmm.
that would be a good place for him to be locked up in some way because of the torment he assisted back in the day with the wrestlers. It would be a good karma in this lifetime for him.
Mm-hmm.
Be put in a position of no power and how helpless these other people became because of his weakness. So that would be a nice karma for him. But yes. The special counsel is going to get, you know, they do have two people on that worked heavily in the public corruption section working with Jack Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They've been on the case. And they will be going after anyone involved illegally on J6. And it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. I channeled that information even before the J6 committee. And I was seeing 25 of them. At least 25 of them indicted. Others could seek a deal.
Yep.
We got 25 people in the elected officials gone.
Thank you, Marby.
Yes, Lois, that was a beautiful. Yes, we all do personal readings. Until winter, I stopped until I get less busy, and it's getting there. So I don't do them. I'm not doing them right now, but Nancy, you have your grids you do.
I have grids, I have gardens, I have all kinds of readings, cards, gardens, all sorts of stuff. I also will be announcing on the 18th of September, I'm going to be teaching a 6-week tarot class. There's going to be a day session and a night session. And if you're interested in that, you can reach me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com, which I can post as a comment, actually. And there's only 15 slots in each class. I've taken some online classes, and when you get a lot of people in it, you really can't learn. And this is a curriculum that I developed almost 40 years ago, and I used to teach it in person. I'm going to be teaching it with Jeffrey from Right Color because he really knows the art on the Rider-Waite deck. That's my big commercial for the day.
Okay. Beautiful. I have your grid. I have your magical egg you did for me.
Yes.
I got that. I do your 12-month readings.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much done everything you offered.
Yeah.
Except for a personal reading.
I
mean, those are, like, you know.
Well, the 12-month reading is a personal reading. It's
right.
Totally for you.
That's why
And I will be offering, I start the 1st of November offering the 12-month readings for 2024. But get in early because I have found out that due to aging beyond my control, I can do about 4 readings a day. Yeah, I know. And then I get too tired, and it's not fair to you. If you get a reading, you ought to have a reader that's sort of in the room.
Yeah, that can be very draining when you tap into many readings.
Mhm.
Okay. Jill's wondering if there's any pardons out there yet that we don't know about.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think it was a thing. Because all those people, all those congressmen, 11 of them, asked for pardons. They
And
didn't get any.
yeah,
Oh,
let me see.
I really didn't ever thought that was a thing. I never really had any psychic hit and booms about any pocket pardons.
Oh, I got, man, this one's a no. They might ask for it. They didn't get it. And they thought that would have been their way to be safe, to have found a place to be safe. But this is also a no. Their ride's going nowhere. And it's because Trump didn't want to do it. I think he felt like if people found out pocket pardons were out there, it would point back to him more if he thought it through that closely. Or he maybe just didn't do it because he's a spiteful little bastard. But
I'm getting here there was legal advice that he couldn't. So I'm getting he thought about it and it was being looked into.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been a corrupt. I was getting someone on his legal team, whatever, pardoning or whatever, turned him down with the devil. You know, it's like the rule of law would not allow a pocket pardon. It would have been totally shut down. It's something about I don't know, there had to be notice, or you can't with the moon here, you can't do secret pardons that way. So some kind of legal advice back then. I think he was trying to have those pushed through, but I think, like I said, it feels like legal advice said no, it won't work. You can't do it.
Has anyone ever pulled a pocket pardon later after a president left office and said you can't? Yeah, because it used to always be done through the Justice Department. They actually have a whole office that handles pardons. Trump didn't bother to use them, but they're there.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a weird one, but I've never sensed it still be hanging in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And well, George is a state, so Rudy can't pull out his pocket pardon if he had one.
No, because
that was a state, but I just don't believe it.
Ballotpedia, if you're interested, Ballotpedia is starting a podcast course that's free on federalism to explain all the ins and outs of where the states and the national government collide, don't collide, and how it works. Because so many people are so confused about how federalism works. So if you're interested, they're starting it, I think, next week. And it's free.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Kushner admitted it. He was too busy to be in an insurrection because he was handling all the
pardons,
pay for play pardons, seeing how much you can get.
Now that can negate your pardon if you pay for it.
Yeah, I think we looked at that before.
Yeah.
Not that the it was something about the money, but not that the pardons would be negated. You know, it's kind of like the 14th Amendment thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's not been done before. And how do we navigate this?
Yep.
So I think there was something about the money, but I don't think the pardons would be negated.
I don't know. We're now into the weeds that I don't like to walk into. So.
There's a lot of weeds. Kushner looks plastic. Yeah. He is a Ken doll.
He looks like an immature Ken doll.
Okay. the other two aides is who, what, Nada and what's the other dude's name? I think it's set to a C. No,
There's Nada and Tavalis.
was Tavalis the one that got the
Yeah,
deal?
he's the one that went and got his own lawyer.
Yeah, Tavalis did, but there was the other two.
I don't. They are so.
I think Tavalis is the one that got the deal.
He's the one who said, "I was told by my lawyer to lie, and I'd like to go back and tell the truth now."
Right, but there's two other ones, Nata and another aide. So anyway, what's going to happen to those two? If someone knows the name, just type it in, please. I can't remember his name right now. But we got Nada and another guy, and the IT guy, Tavalis, flipped with his own. Yeah, D. Alvaro. Thank you. Yes.
D. Alvaro. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Karen.
What's going to happen with those two? It's going to. I think it feels like Dave Oliveira is going to see the light pretty soon. Nada is kind of like he's still drinking the Kool-Aid alongside 45. So
he's from Guam, and my oldest son lived in Guam in his teenage years into his 20s, and he knows members of his family, and he said that whole family has served in the military very faithfully. He said, I don't talk to any of them. I wouldn't know, but he said, I just can't imagine that Nada's family is in love with the choices he's made.
Okay. 45's fate's going to change pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I have him coming as the King of Coins again.
Mm-hmm.
And then some universal actions or travel with the Ace of Wands, some kind of power. Energy is going to change his fate with the Wheel of Fortune. So the circle of life and karma change is going to be happening soon in that aspect. King of Coins, Ace of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Then we have my Empress Star card, the Duchess. That means there's people, the Page of Cups, and then dark times. Okay. So we have people seeing the light and flipping because they see what's going to be happening. Eventually, they're going to see the light. It's like, I'm not going to prison for 20 years over this guy. So it would be a different read if this wasn't the dark card. The dark spirit's a transitioning, everything bad going on. So if I had a good card here, they would have stood. They would have stood firm. But no, this shows they're flipping because they see the dark side of everything. And then I have my heartbreak, loss, bad karma, brokenhearted, losing money, and the Hermit of introspection. And give it a little time yet, but they're gonna see it. They're gonna be broken.
Right. So,
but my senses were saying D. Oliveira is going to do it first.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hard one because Nata is like 45's right hand man, you know. He's probably whispering in his ear daily because he's right next to him. Oh, I got your back. I got your back. Yeah, eventually they'll flip.
I got the most important card out of my 5 is I'm out of here. I'm taking off with what I can grab. I'm going.
See ya. You want to be ya.
And yeah, and the other thing is because it's the only way they can see that they can begin to create a fruitful life. If they don't do it, they're going to be screwed. So it came out, yes, they are going to.
It feels like a money thing. You know, it's like if 45 gets indicted and this corrupt pack is shut down, he has no access to money anymore. It's got kind of feeling where something happens with 45's money. You know, oh, bless you. oil painter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I know who you are. I can't remember your name right now.
Diana Bowles.
Diana. Didn't she have her cards, make cards?
She made beautiful cards. I've got a deck. They're really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gave me a deck, Diana, and then I gave it to a psychic friend that needed it more than me. But I'd love to buy your deck again if you still have some. So if you could email me or whatever, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Oh, Diana was on Terry's channel the other day. Thank you.
Yeah, she's really good. She's also an extremely good astrologer.
Cool.
And I was trying to picture an election date. If you don't know what election astrology is, it's not like having anything to do with voting. It means you look at all the days and you pick out the one that's the best to start something, begin something, do something. And I did election dates with to figure out about my tarot class. And I really kind of wanted to start in October, but there are like, if you're going to begin something new, there's like no time in October to do that. It's full of all kinds of weird angles, but so we're all going to have that kind of October because, you know, when the bus runs over Trump, we hear the thud. So
Okay, we're at 116.
mm-hmm.
So I got what, like 2 more questions starred. And
Okay.
that should be good. Might be having time for another one if something comes up. Jeff was wondering about Chelsea Clinton's future.
That came in after a stream of questions about who else might run for president. Would she ever run for president? I think was what about Chelsea Clinton?
Yeah, we got super families going up, right?
I mean, there are more than 2 or 3 families that can produce people to elect. Thank you, Kathy D.
Bless you, Kathy. Oh, and all right, Ian.
She got no. She has no desire to start this. And she's even more stubborn when the sword shows up. It means this is going nowhere. And all her other cards are no. I don't want to get on that boat. I don't want to go do that.
They're coming in upside down, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. and it's not a good time. I mean, it's not a lot of fun being in the White House. And she's just going to take what she's got and go the other way. I'm out of here. So
let's see. So I have the Wheel of Fortune starting out, Page of Coins. She's deep into family. Is her husband a lawyer?
Her husband's extremely wealthy. Her husband do you remember when Clinton walked a woman into this House chamber to vote, and she was the vote that put his his new tax laws in place, the one that made us have a balanced budget. And she knew when she voted for that she was going to lose her congressional seat where she lived. Chelsea married her son.
Oh.
A little bit of political trivia.
So in the end, he's coming out, her husband's coming out as a King of Swords. You know, some kind of, it doesn't have to be a lawyer. It can be
he's a money manager.
Teacher, advisor, someone with authority, power,
mm-hmm.
You know, some kind of leader. And then I had the family card. And then what she does behind the scenes with the family.
Mm-hmm.
The moon doesn't always have to be dark or depressional. It can be just staying out of the limelight too. In this,
I have a deck where the moon is an outhouse, it's with a little crescent moon on it. Yeah. And I always think when that card shows up in this context, I'm going to keep my SHIT where it needs to stay, and ain't going to be out in public. Thank you, Carolyn.
And as far as the Clinton name, it's been through enough politically.
Yeah.
That's what I think here. The magician here has been through the ringer with mom, dad, and it kind of gives you the Hunter Biden feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and plus Chelsea's children are young. Yeah, I don't think she wants to be a mom, or she does,
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, oh, the Clinton name will just go through the ringer with the Republicans, and like, there's some anxieties about throwing her name out there, and it's like, ugh.
Right.
They have their own businesses and format. Oh, that's a word. Fomenter. Oh God, I can't even say it now. You know what I mean? Doing good work.
Oh.
Philanthropy. I can't even say it.
Philanthropy.
Yes. I don't know why I can't say it.
Philanthropy.
That. Their own good work. So yeah. So I got the Page of Coins, Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Swords. It's like doing good work elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much.
I don't know why I can't say that word.
Philanthropy. Phil. You want me to spell it for you?
Yes, please. I've said it before, but it's not coming out.
Philantthropy. I think. Now, if that's wrong, I did win a spelling bee champion once, but that was a lot of brain cells ago.
Yes.
We did get a question I think we should look at.
Okay, what was that one?
Tuberville.
Oh, that man.
Mm-hmm. It's Christina V at 10:55.
Oh, it just came out. I missed it. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, he's getting the heat, that's for sure. But still being
he's one of the ones that will be gone when they enact the 14th Amendment.
Yeah. We talked to Meadows and 45 on that day. Depends how deep he was, right?
Didn't he speak at the eclipse? Didn't he speak at the thing they had before they decided to go tear up Congress?
Did he speak?
I think he did. And he had
I don't think he was at the rally.
I think he's who was a senator who wore a bulletproof vest.
Well, that wasn't Tuberville. That was
from
Alabama? No. Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah, Tuberville's from Alabama, although he lives in Florida, and I want to know how the hell he gets away with that.
Well, that guy isn't in Congress anymore because didn't he run for Senate and lost?
He was a senator when he spoke.
Right, the guy with the vest, but I think he left his House seat and then ran for senator and then lost the primary. So
okay.
Mo Brooks. Thank you, Jeff. Yes,
Mo Brooks. Thank you.
Mo Brooks had the vest. Yes. Thank you. Okay.
What I got is the outcome is the Wheel of Fortune on Tuberville, and it shows things are not going well for him in the family of the Senate. He sees himself as a hero and riding in for whatever weird reasons, but he's going to pay for it. He's going to really regret what's going on right now. And he is not going to be seen as deep and insightful. And I see truth coming out about him in October. And what I've always seen is they're going to find out he's getting Russian money to do this. Not just money through the party. He has another one of their little sources that feed our, and I hate it when I have to say stuff when I see things like that, because I sound like such a conspiracy theorist. And I feel like, whatever's the opposite of QAnon. But I don't see a Russian under every rock. But with this guy, absolutely, the way he's damaging our military.
I mean, it's even, it's like Tennessee. After the governor was affected by gun shootings, people he knew called an executive order, no action on guns. They gotta be getting paid. No action. The people are dying and nothing. Whoa.
And
I
Millie.
have a special counsel coming in again. Energy and possible indictments or subpoenas or something. It's leaning that way. The truth will come out upon him. I do have money and resources next to the truth, giving and receiving, and I don't think so 8 of coins can be unhealthy at times, but this feels like giving and receiving money. The 6 of coins. And I'm not getting October for him. My moon dart come out, but I'm getting the courthouse and wheel of fortune.
Yeah.
So that's November, December. And then there is some kind of losing his prosperity. So as far as holding it feels that could be in October. The hold on
it has to break.
The promotions.
Because Millie's set to retire, and he said he's leaving.
Oh, I know. The guy's retiring, right?
Seeker. Thank you, spiritual seeker.
But yeah, he's going to have a change here, but it feels later. For some reason, it feels later than the other.
Okay.
To me. But as far as the hold on the promotions feels like it's still another month. Or the next month, anyway. But as far as his karma hitting him, it feels like it could be a little bit later. Maybe November or early December kind of feeling. But yeah, he will face it.
Thank you, Lois. Very generous.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah, some people have been calling for the Democratic senators to push through a change in the rules so one person can't.
Yep.
It's retarded that it's even possible. It's unreal.
Yep.
127 already. Whoa. Okay. Oh, bless you all for all these gifts.
Yes.
Lois did, and Spiritual Seeker, and Laura, Kathy D, Carolyn, Diana with Oil Painter, Marby, Deanne, David. Bless you all. Blessings, blessings, love and light.
Okay, I have sort of some insider stuff. The doxing information was generated here. It's being held on a server that runs out of Russia, but the Russians, that could be controlled by someone in this country. My youngest is a computer security encryption specialist and takes care of doing this sort of stuff. And I asked her why they weren't shutting it down, and she said, probably because they want to track it all the way back and find out exactly where it is. And then they have ways they can get rid of it. But the other information is it's already there. And if anything's ever in the internet, guys, it's always there for the most part.
Yeah, especially when you can bookmark and save and screenshot and your hose. So yeah, it isn't, it isn't Russia didn't start that, right?
No, it came.
Georgia put it out there per rules, and everyone on the internet snagged it. And then the right wing talking points went to work. Started threatening these people. But it's very good that Fanny and her team is pushing back that this stuff needs to be secret. People's lives are at risk. It's nonsense. everyone should be secret to avoid being, especially the grand jurors.
Oh, I've served on two. Let me tell you, some of the stuff that we were looking at, yeah, we didn't want the people that we were talking about to know it was us. And we were down supposedly a dark hallway that no one knew about, but you'd go up to someone in the courthouse and say, which way to the grand jury room? And they'd point you right to our door. So, and I had nothing to do with spying. It wasn't a federal, it was a county.
No, we didn't talk about Elon, but he's in big trouble. He's got so many money problems, people suing, and now he's a international spy.
Mm-hmm.
Our government.
I don't understand anybody who still even has their name on Twitter. Now, I know they can't take it down completely, but I hear all these people justifying, but all the people I really like to watch and see are over there. Well, it's not feeding him because that place is just the money pit of all money pits. But I just don't think you should give him. And then, what's our choice? Go to Zuckerberg? I mean, he's such a paragon of virtue.
Well, at least it ain't a cesspool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those right wingers are trying to get in there, but I'll drop once I can. All the people I follow are on Threads, but I haven't found the notification. If I can get the notifications from my favorite lawyers and whatnot, then I'll cut out Twitter.
Well, I got on Threads just to see what it looked like. And I found all the people I wanted. I just had a list of people I wanted to know where they were. But I have a friend who used to live and die by Twitter. And she just went back and looked through her records and pulled those people's names. And if you just enter it in, you can find them. They all got over there basically with their same handles. So
yeah, they are. I mean, but I don't. So like on Twitter, I have these notifications.
Right.
Right. Like when my favorite reporter that's following everything pops up and I get a notification saying there's grand jurors in the DC right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're back. I know that immediately. I haven't found that yet on Threads that you can get the notifications and see your favorites separated from the full feed, right? So as soon as that option and things get better there with that technology and up, yeah, I will cut my Twitter because I won't call it X because it's retarded. But I actually changed my, the icon app.
Mm-hmm.
I replaced it with the Twitter bird. The notifications see an X, but my app shows the Twitter bird. I replaced it. You can do that.
I know.
I don't see the X.
And apparently you can print them now. So on computers.
Right. Yeah. Elon's gone down the wrong path. It's like we knew. You remember when Elon, Saudi Prince, or one of his reps, and Kushner were watching the soccer tournament?
Mm-hmm.
There was a picture of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Over there in Qatar or wherever it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God. Right? They're in cahoots. That doesn't happen without some kind of meeting going on.
Like, there was a story last week that before Musk owned Twitter, that the Saudis approached some vice president. It was a woman, and she gave them the names and the ways to find a bunch of people that were tweeting behind the Saudi government, were tweeting against them. And they arrested the whole bunch of them. And there's a woman who's sister of one of those guys who lives here in the States. And she was on the news last week talking about how her brother was tortured and killed because of Twitter before Elon Musk owned it. So,
yeah, enemies of the people.
Yeah, you can come over here. I promise, Karen Louise, I will never ever sell you out to any foreign power. I'm not clever enough to find out who are behind all these names. I know some of them, but
I got all those things. I only got Twitter only because I found all these lawyers and great people and good reporters. I had Twitter forever, but thanks to 45, I followed it more. But I got everything else mainly so I can see my kids and what they're doing and the grandchild now, because they post on
I was on Twitter 1 week and I answered something. It was like an open-ended question. I answered it. And this woman just dive bombed me. And I just said, well, if this is how this place is going to be, the next thing I did was I watched, there was a thing in Britain where they posted as if World War II had been followed on Twitter. Thank you, Jennifer. And I watched that whole series. But then when they got to the end of that, I went like, I've got a lot of other stuff I can fill my time with. I don't need this. And so I quit my Twitter. And people ask me, are you on Instagram? I do have a thing on Instagram, and occasionally I post my grids, but I don't understand how to make that work. I have enough just getting my channel up and doing my readings.
Yeah.
If you saw my channel right after Mercury went retrograde, when I had the Super Echo, I took that show down. Then I had a show where I didn't show up and my microphone didn't work. It was a week ago. And poor Jeffrey Ripecolor was doing a show with me. And everything on my end stopped, except I could still see the switchboard on StreamYard. And I texted him in Mexico City, you're going to answer all the questions. I'll feed them to you. And you can see him saying WTF right as I click the camera. But he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, Yogi, we've seen that. And yes, he's seen it. It was just as crushing as when he went to the World Series, whatever. And
Yankee Stadium got booed. Yeah.
Oh, that crushes his soul. He does his best to ignore it like he's the man, but he's only keeping up appearances. I don't believe he's that stupid to know he's not going to win 2024.
He's doing it to keep people from suing his ass and money.
It's a hope and a prayer, and he can keep bringing money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the hope and prayer that he can keep bringing in money and delay enough and appeal enough. If he can't win, praying to Satan or someone else wins, that probably Magaswamy right now. He's the only one that says I'm pardoning 45. So
Vivek better figure out whoever gets in is going to pardon him. He's a swindler too.
Pretty much. Oh, you want to bring some inspiration cards in?
Yeah, let's get rid of all those nasty names. Not Yogi Bear, you're fine. But get rid of all those nasty names and trying to see what I can pull from.
Well, it's certainly 45's there's been reports that his team is pretty much pulling out Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the campaign, there ain't much there. So it's not going to campaign much. There's no real ads. He's just hoarding it and trying to figure out how he can pay his lawyers.
They better figure out how it's going to electioneering, because that's what they're going to get him on fraud for. So
yeah, and he's using it probably to pay for his travel, on his plane, and paying his pilots and everything. Okay.
He does have more lawyers than voters, so
I like it a lot. Oh, home phone ringing.
I'm going to give you a thought for the day.
Okay. Do you remember what Arcana card 12 is? It's called perspective.
You mean what the 12th major arcana is in the
Yes.
Rider-Waite? Okay. Yeah, I can get it for you. Just wait a second.
Oh, I could Google it.
No, I have it in my phone.
Oh.
12 is Hangman.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But when I use this deck, it doesn't say Hangman, which you're used to.
Oh, I know. Oh, Radley's deck, yeah.
So it's perspective. Basically the Hangman, but it's a pause for reflection and insight, and you try to think of a different way. Okay, that makes it. It's like looking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm getting congratulations with the 6 of Wands. You've done a wonderful job, and that's being rewarded. And then the Queen of Ariel, which is the Queen of Coins, being practical, nurturing yourself. So what that kind of makes sense is when making important decisions, don't be impulsive. It's like take your time and investigate and make sure you're doing the right thing for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you get in an argument with a spouse, family member, or boss, or whatever, you may regret that immediate reaction. Always, it's just have that perspective in life where you think and talk, and before you react, make sure it's a wise choice, because everything comes about better when you don't have conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think that's what this is telling me. It's like, don't overreact to situations, and make the best decision for yourself. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. I pulled 3 cards, and the first one is pink tourmaline, which is forgiveness. This is a stone of grace, aligning your soul to the sacred vibrations. Assists in releasing guilt and blame, finding deep forgiveness. And this is for yourself. I mean, there's a lot of us that are letting go of things and trying to forgive people. Forgive yourself when you don't do everything right. Powerfully opens and heals your heart, transforms barriers around the heart chakra, opens your experience to magic and joy, increases and encourages spontaneity and fun. And the second card that I pulled is the opal. And I love it because it said pink tourmaline, open yourself up to joy. And opal is joy. And it's allows you to experience love and joy, pure essence of the soul, used in the Aboriginal traditions for ceremonies to support hidden vision quests. Activates your thymus and allows you to interact with the sacred space of love and joy, enhances your joy, spontaneity, and love, encourages you to engage in the vibrant energy of life. And then the third card I pulled, because I like to pull them in 3s because I'm just that way. It's one of my favorite stones, and I carry one around in my purse all the time. It's Tiger's Eye. And Tiger's Eye is have courage. And I think in these days, sometimes it's hard. It's hard not to get discouraged with the things we hear around us, but allows you to see situations clearly, powerfully, and assists in decision making, allows you to open deeply in your spiritual wisdom and live in that in the day-to-day, enhances your courage and strength, allows you to stay focused on your tasks, and supports finding your inner truths and draws courage from your spirit in all challenges. So I think those are the 3 stones to think about. Pink tourmaline. Watermelon tourmaline is the other name for this. And I used to have a necklace of that. And when I would read out in public, I would wear that because it's such an incredibly protective stone. So, don't let the bastards get you down. And even when, one day it looks like they've made a motion that's going to change things, you just have to let this play out. This is a long-term time game. And we're I feel the sea change. It's like the heat broke this week in Texas. And I was on the phone with Scott when the thunderstorm came through. And we went from a day that was 108 to the next day was in the low 90s. And right now, I feel like the heat's breaking around us as a country. I feel like you go out, you can feel that little bit of fall in the air, that little bit of crispness. So I'm hoping that truth that brings that crispness to us and helps us define it. And with that, I'm just going to remind you, I do private readings. I will, if you're on my channel, if you're a subscriber, you'll get the notice about my tarot classes. And I'm taking the first 30 people that sign up. And
what was the name of your crystal deck?
this crystal deck is
Phoenix Rise is asking.
okay. Crystal reading cards, and the author's name is Raquel Charman. She's an Australian. And this deck is just marvelous. And if you want to learn crystals, I used to pull a card a day the first year I had it. And you just get so much more depth and vision. So
yeah, I kind of weird. Linda brings up drinking water, kind of like the toxicity with my read came out. You don't want to go down that path when you don't have to. And some reason the concept of water has come up in a few of my text messages or whatever with other friends. And we were talking about Reiki, to heal yourself and, trying to get in a better spot. And it just popped in my head. And I told her, well, if you're trying to heal your body and use Reiki, you got to do your own work too.
Right.
So let's say you're not filtering your water, or you're just drinking out of the tap and you don't get your water tested when it's polluted. You're not helping yourself by putting bad stuff into your body. It's hard to heal when you're not doing your own work, that kind of feeling. So it's like, it's a good comment there with toxicity, with relationships, with whatnot. You don't drink the water, or you need to drink the water. Don't go to the sewer. That's a good comment.
No, you don't. And water is really important. And right now, Saturn and Neptune, I think, are both in Pisces. That's why we're going to have so much flooding, and all water is going to become an issue, either not enough or more than you need. And we just need to, we're 90% water. So you may as well put the best water in that you can, because otherwise you will have problems.
Yeah. I mean, I filter everything with my water. I bought the filter jug, and usually don't buy some people just buy the bottled water, but I just filter it. It feels so much better.
Yep.
It's like when I change the carbon filters or whatever, it's amazing how much weight from all the minerals in it. It's like twice as heavy when it says to change it. It's like, Jesus. You'd use that for arm weights after you're done. It filters out a lot.
It does.
Test your water. Yeah, I mean, when I lived on our family farm, we drank out of a well, and every year I had the water tested, and it all came up fine because, we use chemicals for the crops and whatnot. So some could have leaked in the ground, but it was always fine. But you got to test your water. If you got a well, especially.
We have a filter in our refrigerator, but this is another of my Mercury retrograde nightmares. We had a water valve leak, and so I don't have a washer and a dryer. They had to come get black mold out of my house. And that was the line that went to the refrigerator to put water in it. And so I don't have my filtered water through my refrigerator. So my daughter went and got some really good bottled water, and that's what we're drinking until we get it fixed.
Yep.
Well, Scott, we need to let these poor people go and have a Sunday.
Yes. Oh gosh, we're already at hour 50. We could sit here and chat all day, right?
That's right. I did yesterday with the garden club.
That's good times.
We managed to kill 2 hours.
Linda's spying on people with their remote viewing. It's like to be a fly on the wall. Okay, bless everyone.
Okay. Good to
see you. Arizona water. The
Texas water is tepid too, honey. Let me tell you, there's I had a neighbor who moved in an apartment next to me, and she'd come from Alaska, and she said, "What's wrong with your water? Your cold water's not cold." And I said, "You're in a state that isn't cold, baby. This is it. It's the best you get."
The Saudis didn't take all the Arizona water.
No.
Yeah, that's a sad situation there. I hope that gets. Okay. Okay. Bless you, everyone. Thank you for the donations too, and great hanging with you again, Nancy.
Yes, and please go over and subscribe at my channel so you can get notified about all the fun stuff I got going on.
Sweet. Bye, y'all.